morning, students. So, magandang umaga. So, for today, ang lesson natin, it's all about Ohm's law and the power law or the power calculation. So, for today's learning outcome, we have the performing mensuration and calculation. So, ito more on computations na tayo. So, katulad nga nung sinabi ko, for lesson 7, we have the Ohm's law and the power calculation or the power law. So ano nga ba yung napapaloob sa lesson na ito? Okay? So we have here the objectives, explain Ohm's law and power calculation or power law. Second, compute the current, resistance, voltage, and power using the Ohm's law and the power calculation. So more on calculation and pagsosolve yung gagawin natin today. Now, first thing we have here the Ohm's law. So, panoorin muna itong video. Okay, so you have there si George Simon Ohm. So si George Simon Ohm is siya yung naka-discover ng Ohm's law, kaya pinangalan sa kanya. So he is a German physicist. So ito yung ginawa niyang law. So you have there the Ohm's law. So later on, mas ipapaliwanag ko pa sa inyo. Ginawa ng experiment para makita yung relationship ng voltage, ng current, at ng resistance. So, mapapansin nyo, nung gumalo yung kuryente or yung current. And then, of course, sa ating ammeter, yung nagsusukat ng current, meron siyang value na 0.12. And sa ating voltmeter naman, kung sa voltage, meron siyang value. Okay. Now, kung mapapansin niyo sa experiment niya, nagdagdag siya ng isa pang battery. And then, inon niya ulit yung switch. And then, of course, gumalo yung kuryente or yung current. And kung mapapansin niyo, if dalawa na yung battery or cell na connected, mas tumaas na yung amperes niya. So, naging 0.2 and yung voltage naging 0.5. And nagdagdag ulit siya ng another battery. So, kung mapapansin nyo, habang nagdadagdag sila ng battery or ng cell, mas tumataas yung voltage and the current. dito naman sa table, pinapakita kapag mas madami yung cell niya or yung battery, mas tumataas yung current at tumataas din yung voltage. So you have there the conclusion. Voltage is directly proportional to the current. Yun nga yung nakasaad sa ating Ohm's law. And then, right here, ang ginawa naman is, nilagay siya sa graph para makita nyo yung slope sa graph. Okay. Now, let's summarize yung napanood ninyo. So, we have there the Ohm's law, which means Ohm's law, nag-i-state siya. Ohm's law states that the current passing through a conductor is directly proportional to the voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance. Anong ibig sabihin doon? Once na mataas ang voltage natin, of course, mataas din yung current kasi sabi nga dito, it is directly proportional. Pag tumaas si voltage, tataas si current. And inversely proportional to the resistance. Once ang resistance natin ay mataas, yung voltage at yung ating current mas mababa. Pero kapag mababa naman yung resistance, mataas naman si voltage at si current. Kasi sabi dito, inversely proportional to the resistance. Ibig sabihin, kabaliktaran. Okay? So, mapapansin nyo, sa Ohm's law, meron tayong tatlong component. We have the voltage, current, and the resistance. Now, ulitin lang natin. Ohm's law, pinangalan siya kay George Simon Ohm kasi noong 1926, na-discover niya yung relationship ng tatlo. So, ano nga ba yung relationship ni voltage, current, at ni resistance? That's why nakabuo siya ng Ohm's law. So, ito yung ini-state ni Ohm's law. Okay. So, katulad ng sinabi ko, Ohm's law involves three components, which is current, voltage, and resistance. So, ano nga ba yung current, voltage, and resistance? So, unawain muna natin para mas maintindihan natin kung paano nangyayari yung Ohm's law. So, first one, you have here the current. So, yung current, that is the movement of free electrons. Ibig sabihin yung paggalaw ng mga electrons. So, kung makikita nyo, itong parang container na yan, ayan yung wire natin. So, sa loob niyan, may mga electrons. Ayan yung negative charge, negative charges. So, yung mga electrons na yan, yung paggalaw nila, ang tawag natin doon is current. Okay? So, yung paggalaw ng mga electrons, that is current. Next. Next naman is voltage. So, voltage is the electric pressure or potential difference that cause the charge to flow from one point to another. So, yung voltage naman, ito yung electric pressure natin. So, ito yung tumutulak kay current para mapunta sa isang hole or isang direction. So, siya yung nagpupush kay current. So, for example, this one, ayan. So, yung mga kulay yellow na yan, let's say, ayan yung mga electrons or yung mga charges. So, because of the voltage, napupunta siya dito to another direction. So, yun yung ating voltage. Yung electric pressure or yung potential difference from one point to the resistance. When we say resistance, from the word itself, nagre-resist. So, resistance is the opposition of the movement of the current. Ibig sabihin ng opposition, siya yung nagre-resist o siya yung parang pumipigil. So, ayan. So, may kita nyo sa illustration natin. So, ito nga yung voltage natin, katulad ng sinabi ko, siya yung nagpo-push dito sa ating mga charges, so yung current, and then si resistance naman yung nag-o-oppose sa movement nila. Now, kung susumahin natin or isa-summarize natin, so I have here the example of Ohm's law. So I have here the illustration. So ano ibig sabihin ng illustration na to? So this illustration shows the relationship of the voltage, the resistance, and the current. Katulad ng sinabi ko, the voltage is the electric pressure. So siya yung tumutulak sa mga charges para dumaloy si current. So, ibig sabihin, once na malakas ang pagtulak ni voltage, yung voltage natin, of course, mabilis din nakakadaloy si current. So, katulad nung sinabi ko kanina, pag mataas si voltage, mataas din yung pagdaloy ni current. Now, ano naman yung relationship ni resistance? Si resistance naman, siya yung nag-o-oppose. Katulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, siya yung nagre-resist or nag-o-oppose sa pagdaloy ng current. So makikita nyo, ayan, hinihigpitan niya para hindi ganoon kabilis yung daloy ng kuryente. So in this illustration, pinapakita yung relationship ni resistance, ni voltage, at ni current. So ayan. So once mataas si current, mataas din yung ating once mataas si current, mataas din si voltage. And kung mataas si voltage, mataas din si current. Kasi silang dalawa yung directly proportional. Pag tumaas si voltage, tataas din si current. Parehas sila. So pag bumaba naman si current, bababa din si voltage. And ano naman yung relationship ni resistance? Once mataas ang voltage at current, si resistance ay mababa kasi inversely proportional. Pero kapag si resistance ay mataas, si voltage at si current naman ay mababa. Okay? So that is the components that is inside the Ohm's law. So yung tatlong component natin. Now, tandaan natin tong table na to. So you have here the different function ng ating multi-tester. So nilagay ko lang dyan. Kasi nga, ang sinusukat natin is voltage, resistance, at current. So ano yung mga device na pinasusukat natin dyan? Of course, voltmeter, ohmmeter, and milliammeter. So ito yung minimeasure nila na quantity or value. So voltmeter, minimeasure niya ay voltage. At ang unit ng voltage natin is volts. Ang symbol niya ay V. Ipinangalan siya kay Alessandro Volta. Ohmmeter naman, ang minimeasure niya is resistance. And ang unit niya is ohms, with the symbol omega. So, pinangalan ito kay George Simon Ohm. Milliammeter, ang minimeasure niya is current, small amount of current. Ang unit niya ay amperes. Ang symbol niya pwedeng letter A or pwedeng letter I. And pinangalan naman yung unit kay Mary Andre Ampere. Okay? So, itong table na to mahalaga para matandaan nyo ano yung unit, ano yung symbol, kanino pinangalan, at ano yung mga electronic equipment na pwede natin gamitin sa pagsukat ng mga value na to. Okay? Now, so sa ating Ohm's law, meron tayong formula. So we have the formula V for voltage over I stands for current, and R for resistance. Okay, so you have V, I, R. Voltage, current, and resistance. Now, pag magko-compute na tayo, let's say wala si voltage. Ang hinahanap natin is si voltage. Ang formula natin dyan is voltage equals current times resistance. Ibig sabihin, that is V equals I times R. Next, kapag wala naman si resistance. Resistance is equal to voltage divided by current. So, ibig sabihin, that is R times, R equals V over I. Okay? Next, kapag si current naman ang wala, so current is equal to voltage over resistance. Ibig sabihin, that is I equals V over R. So, lagi niyong tatandaan itong mga formula natin kasi magpo-computation tayo. So, let's go now to the problem solving. So, paano ba ginagawa yung computation? Okay, so let's try this one.
So, para sa ating problem number 1, okay, so problem number 1 tayo. So, sabi dito, a heater with a resistance of 16 ohms. So, meron tayong given. So, ano yung given natin? So, meron tayong resistance na 16 ohms is connected across the 220 volts. So, meron daw tayong volts na 220. Okay? Then, how much current, how much is the current? So, ang hinahanap natin is the current. So, letter I. Now, ano yung formula natin? You have the given. After that, you need to write the formula. So, ang ating formula, ang nawawala is yung ating current. So, ang formula natin dyan is current is equal to voltage over I. Now, substitute na natin ngayon yung given natin. So, that is equal to voltage 220 over resistance na 16. So, we have 220 divided by 16. Now, ilang 16 meron sa 220? If you are going to do the long method, so you have 16, then divided by 220. So, 22 divided by 16, you have 1, and then 16. 22 minus 6, minus 16, you have 60. 12, tapos, 6. Then, bring down yung 0. 60 divided by 16, ilan? 3. Then, 48. So, pinapakita ko lang yung long method, Then, meron tayong 12. Then, decimal point. Add tayo ng 0. So, magiging 120. You have 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Carry 4. 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. Yan. So, medyo maliit na, no? Dito na natin, ilipat na natin sa kabila. Ilipat na natin sa kabila. So, 120 minus, minus yan, minus 112. So, 8, and dagdag tayo ng another 0. So, 80 divided by 16 is 5. 5 times 16 is 80. Then, 0. So, you have 13.75. So, you have 13.75. Ano ang symbol natin para sa current? So, ang symbol natin is A, or amperes. So, ang sagot natin sa problem na ito is 13.75 amperes. So, yun yung hinahanap nating current. Okay? So, lagay na natin yan. Current is equal to 13.75 amperes. So, dapat meron kayong solution. So, binura ko na. So, kung kaya nyo naman ng mentally mag-solve, mas maganda. So, ayan. So, 13.75. So, para sa ating problem number 2, so, basahin natin. A current 0.04 ampere. So, given natin. Of course, una lagi yung given. So, meron daw tayong current equals 0.004 amperes flows through a 10,000 ohms resistance. Madalay daw siya sa resistance na merong 10,000 ohms. how much is the voltage? So, ang hinahanap natin is the voltage. Now, ano yung formula natin? So, ang formula natin for that is voltage equals current divided by, current, again, we have voltage equal to current multiply to the resistance. Okay? So, multiplication yung involved natin na operation. So, substitute natin yung given. So, sa current, meron tayong 0.004 multiply by 10,000. Now, let's do the long method again. So, actually, may shortcut nito. Pwede mong i-move na lang yung decimal. So, later on, sasabihin ko. So, meron tayong 10,000. I-multiply natin si 0.004. Then, any number multiply to 0, of course, 0 yung sagot. And then, 4 times 1, you have 4. So, ilang decimal places? Isa, dalawa, tatlo. So, 1, 2, 3. So, tatanggalin mo na. Ibig sabihin, mawawala na yung value niyan. So, you have 40. So, 40 volts. Ito yung final, Ito yung ating, again, equals 40 volts. So, ito yung ating final answer. Ano yung shortcut? Ang shortcut dito, bilangin mo yung decimal places. Parang ganito yung ginawa natin. So, tatlo, mawawala na yan. So, magiging 4 times 10 na lang, magiging 40. Okay? So, tandaan nyo lang palagi yung formula, tapos kung paano siya isosolve. So, dapat laging merong solution. So, ganon, nag-start lagi tayo sa given. Ano yung given? Ano yung hinahanap? And then, write the formula. And then, write the solution. Show your solution. And then, your final answer. So, that's it for the problem number 2. Problem number 3, we have a small bulb with unknown resistance. So, sinabi na agad yung nawawala. Unknown resistance is connected across 220 volts power line. So, connected daw siya sa voltage na 220 volts. Then, power line with a current consumption of 0.05 amperes. So, ang current daw niya is 0.05 amperes. Okay? Now, actually kahit hindi nyo muna lagyan ng unit dito, understandable naman siya kasi may nakalagay ko ano. So, pero yung final answer dapat laging may unit. Okay. So, you have the given, alam nyo na kung ano yung hinahanap. Formula na tayo. So, formula, resistance is equal to voltage divided by current. Then, substitute natin ngayon. So, you have 220 volts divided by 0.05. Now, to the division. So, paano tayo nagdi-divide ng decimal sa whole number? So, ito yung ating divisor. Ito naman yung ating dividend. So, alam nyo na yan kasi elementary pa lang tinuturo na yan. Okay, so brahin ko na. Paano tayo magdi-divide? So, papakita ko muna yung long method. So, magdi-divide tayo, mag-start tayo sa 0.05 divided by 220. Okay? Now, pag sa division, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-divide ng decimal number. So, gagawin natin siyang whole number. So, mag-move tayo ng 1, 2. So, magiging 5 na siya. And then, of course, kung mag-move ka sa divisor, sa dividend din. So, 1, 2. So, madadagdagan siya ng 2 0. Okay? Tapos, ito, magiging 5 na lang. Now, let's divide. So, 22 divided by 5, that is 4. So, you have 20, then 2, bring down 0. 20 divided by 5, that is 4. So, you have 20. And then, since meron pa siyang 2 0, dapat tuloy-tuloy pa rin. So, bring down 0. 0 times 5, 0 divided by 5 is 0. 0 times 5, 0. Meron pang isa, ganun ulit. So, the final answer is 4,400. Wala siyang butas. So, 4,400 ohms. Bakit ohms? Kasi resistance yung hinahanap. So again, for the problem solving, laging tatandaan, kailangan meron kang given. Alam mo kung ano yung hinahanap. After that, you have the formula. And then, substitute mo na ngayon. So, ilang voltage, ilalagay mo. Ilan yung current, ilalagay mo. And then, do the solution. Palagi dapat merong solution. Pwedeng, kung kaya mentally, mas maganda. Pero mas maganda pa din yung nagsosolve ka para nado-double check mo. And then, of course, you have the final answer. Always, lagi, always and forever, kailangan meron niyang symbol. May kailangan, sabi ko nga, kailangan may label palagi. Okay? So, that is for the problem number 3.
Okay, so ayun, pinakita ko sa inyo kung paano sinusolve yung iba't ibang problem sa Ohm's Law. So, binigyan ko kayo ng 3 problem. So, dapat lagi ang unang ginagawa is to find the given. So, kailangan hanapin nyo muna kung ano yung given sa inyong problem. So, you have the problem. So, ilalagay kung ano yung given. Next is what is asked or kung ano yung hinahanap. So, ayan, dito ang hinahanap natin is resistance. Followed by the formula. Of course, don't forget to write the formula para hindi kayo maligaw. So you have here the formula, resistance is equal to voltage divided by current. And then, substitute the given. So substitute nyo na ngayon. So V is equal to 220 volts. And then divided by the current, which is 0.05. Then after this one, of course, simplify it, make your solution. And then, write your solution with symbol. So kailangan kasi may label palagi para hindi naliligaw kung resistance ba yan, voltage ba yan, or current ba yan. So, you have here 4,400 ohms. Kasi ang symbol ng resistance is ohms. So, that's it for the ohmmeter. So, pinakita ko sa inyo kung paano mag-solve kapag nawawala si voltage, pag si resistance naman yung nawawala, at pag nawawala si current. Now, let's go on to the next one. The next one is the power calculation or the power law. So when we say power, it is the rate at which work is done per unit at ang valueng sinusukat niya is the wattage. So pag sinabi natin wattage, it measures the total energy consumed. So kadalasan ito yung sa kuryente natin. 'Di ba? Yung sinusukat ng Meralco kung ilan ba yung na-consume nyo na energy. Na-consume ng buong bahay na kuryente. And then ang unit niya is watts. It is the unit for power measurement, that is watts, with the symbol W. And of course, ito pinangalan siya kay James Watt. Si James Watt naman is yung naka-imbento ng steam engine. Now, katulad sa Ohm's Law, meron din tayong formula na sinusundan sa power law. So sa power law natin, you have here P equals E times I. Ano naman yung E? Ano naman yung PEI na yan? Excuse me. So you have here, P stands for power in watts. E is for EMF or electromotive force. Again, it is electromotive force in volts. I is for current in amperes. And of course, R is for resistance in ohms. Now, kung sa given nyo, kung sa problem, given si volts, given din si current, hinahanap si power, ito yung susundin yung formula. You have power equals to voltage times I. So kung mapapansin nyo yung voltage natin dito, hindi na siya letter V. Ang ginagamit na yung E, na ang ibig sabihin is the electromotive force. But it is still measured by volts. So, ayun. So, kapag given si volts, saka si current, ang gagamitin yung formula is E times I or voltage times current. So, pag-multiply nyo lang sila. And kapag given naman si voltage at resistance, ito ang ating formula. Power is equal to voltage square divided by resistance. So, ibig sabihin, naka-square si voltage, so ita times by itself divided by resistance. Pag ang given naman natin is current at resistance, this is the formula. So you have I for current squared times resistance. Okay? Lagi nyo lang tatandaan yung formula natin. So, yung formula ni power, nag-iiba-iba depende sa given. Okay? So, kapag si voltage at current ang ating given, ang susundan natin is unang yung unang formula. Kapag naman si volts at si resistance ang given, ang susundan natin is this one. Pag si current at resistance naman ang given, ito naman yung susundan natin. Okay, now let's try. Let's try to solve. Yan. Try natin yung problem. So, let's see. So, this is the problem number 1.
So, problem number 1 sa ating power law, we have here, what is the power in the circuit if the secondary transformer is rated 12 volts and 2 amperes? So, ang hinahanap, so, ganun din yung gagawin, ilalagay natin yung given. So, power law is missing, power is missing. Ang given natin is yung voltage, which is 12 volts, and yung ating current, which is 2 amperes. Okay. Now, anong napapansin? Di ba kanina sa ating Ohm's law, ang ginamit natin sa voltage is letter V. Dito naman E. Kasi ang ibig sabihin ng E is electromagnetic force or EMF. Okay? So, voltage pa din yan. So, naiba lang yung symbol na ginamit. Okay? So, delete ko na yan. Now, you have the given. So, kunin yung given. Ano naman yung formula natin? So, the formula for the power, ang given natin is voltage at current. So, ang gagamitin natin is power is equal to voltage or electromagnetic force multiplied by the current. So, ayan yung ating formula. So, substitute na natin. So, E is equal to 12 times or multiplied by 2. So, that is 12 times 2, of course, that is 24. Ano ngayon ang unit o symbol para sa ating power? Para sa power, so we have W, or that is 4 watts. Okay, so you have 24 watts. So this is your final answer. So kung papakita pa natin yung solution, so 12 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times 1, of course, 24. So ganyan. You have the given, ano yung missing, you have the formula, the solution, and your final answer. So that is for the problem number 1.
Okay, so you have here the problem number 1. So just a correction, no? Kasi yung EMF na nasabi ko dito is electromagnetic force. That is for the transformer actually. So dito, yung E, that is electromotive force or volts, electromotive force in volts. Okay. So dito, ang given natin sa problem natin, ang given natin is 12 volts. So that is EMF or voltage, and ang given natin is current. So ang ginamit nating formula is power equals EMF or voltage times current. Okay? So kasi katulad nung sinabi kanina dito sa discussion natin, kapag given si volts at current, ito yung gagamitin natin na formula. So that is for the problem number 1. Now, for the problem number 2,
Problem number 2 sa ating power law. So, sabi dito, how much power is lost of 100 ohms resistance which consumes current of 10 amperes. So, hinahanap ulit yung watts. So, ilang watts daw? Meron tayong resistance na given which is 100 ohms. At meron tayong current na given na 10 amperes. Now, ang given natin is resistance and current naman. So, ano yung gagamitin natin na formula? So, ang gagamitin natin formula, of course, so power is equal to current raised to 2 multiplied by the resistance. So, yung formula natin, nakadepende yan dun sa given natin. So, nag-iiba-iba yan. So, since ang given natin is resistance at current, so ito yung formula ang gagamitin natin. So, next thing, substitute the given. So, current is 10 amperes. So, 10 raised to 2. And then multiplied by the resistance, that is 100. Okay, 10 raised to 2 or 10 times 10 is equal to 100. Bring down lang natin yung 100 ulit. 100 times 100. So, ang gagawin nyo lang dyan, shortcut, bilangin nyo yung 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 times 1, that is 1. So, you have 10,000 watts. So, meron tayong 10,000 watts na power, yun yung hinahanap niya. So, kung gusto nyo mag-long method pa nito, pwede nyo ilong method ng multiplication. Pero since puro 0 at 1 lang naman siya, so madali, ganun lang yung shortcut niya. Bilangin nyo yung 0, tapos 1 times 1, of course, 1. Okay? So, this is the answer for the problem number 2. You have 10,000 watts.
Okay, so for the problem number 2, ang given natin is resistance at current. So, ang formula natin is power equals current squared times the resistance. So, then substitute the given. So, 10 raised to 2 times 100. So, when we say squared or raised to 2, that is multiplied by itself. So, 10 times 10, that is 100. Multiplied by 100, you have 10,000 watts. Now, paano ginagawa ulit kapag problem solving? Of course, kailangan alamin yung given, what is as, ano yung hinahanap, write the formula, substitute the given, and then make your solution and your final answer. Okay? So, that's it sa ating lesson number 7 for Ohm's law and the power calculation. Lagi niyo lang tatandaan yung mga components na involved sa Ohm's law at sa power law at of course their formula. So, yun lamang para sa ating lesson number 7.